Nobody. Nobody ever won anything for the kingdom that way. My gut, most of you who know me, know anything about me, you know my gut is for the fight. But I have to learn how to fight the way my Messiah would have me fight. And it's different. And it's hard. You know, fighting somebody in a way that corrects them in a glorifying way to the Lord, it takes time and effort. I can correct somebody physically really quick. It doesn't take long at all, most of the time, right? It's just not bringing any glory to my Father. How does that help the kingdom? We will learn to fight spiritually, or we will just be another group of people who started a war for no good reason. You want to see how a war for our God finishes out? When we're fighting against the people physically, who believe something different. Look to the Middle East. Right? Look, I'm not saying we shouldn't support righteousness in the Middle East. What I am saying is this. When it comes time for you personally to make a decision, make sure you've taken it before the Lord and make the right one. Right? It's not that we shouldn't be strong enough to protect ourselves. We should. Because here's the deal. Messiah said to his disciples before he went to the garden, have you a sword? We have 2. That's enough. Let's go. But when the evil one sent a mob to get him, he didn't let them use their swords. And the one who did use it, he corrects him, stops him, fixes the damage, and goes quietly with them like a lamb to the slaughter. Why did he ask them if they had swords? Remember that Balaam thing? Presumption of assumption? I'm going to tell you right now, God asked me if I got a sword and bad guys show up, it's over. Right? Me or them. He asked me if I had a sword. That's an assumption. Just because God asks you if you have a sword doesn't mean he means for you to kill people with it. Any more than if he gives you a shotgun. By the way, I know we don't use swords very much, so I'm just throwing it out there. Right? Let me ask you guys to meditate on something as you read the word this week. If a mob comes for me today, and I'm carrying a 12-gauge shotgun, and I say to them, you know, I could take 5 of you with me. I could probably get 10 because I reload pretty fast, right? But I'm going to lay this gun, my ammunition down for my Messiah. Now, I know they want to kill me, and I do that. Does that speak louder about my God than if I take 10 with me? Guys, if it didn't, let me tell you something. Everyone who ever blew up a plane or a building would be better known than Messiah. Every one of them. Name somebody. One guy, just one, who took 10 with him that you know right now. Name one from 2,000 years ago. But you can't, you sure it was 2,000 years, but name one that took 10 with them from 10,000 years ago. Listen, how many rebellions were there? How many uprisings? How many people who claimed to be Messiah and led bloody queues? Against ungodly people, by the way. I'm not even saying they didn't have it coming by the world's standards. But name one. Some of you probably get Baruch, right? He fought. He probably took at least 10 with him, right? Bar Kokhba, there you go. But the bottom line is, unless you've studied that piece of history, you don't know him. And certainly not as many people know who he is, right, as the Lord. And how much glory does God get from that story? Lay the two side by side and tell me where the kingdom is advanced. Right? Here's the thing. Somebody shared with me a saying that I've known a long time. Said it was the definition of insanity, right? Continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? I learned that when I was about 14. I was playing rugby at the time. I kept getting beat. Finally, my coach said to me, you know, if you keep doing the same thing, he's going to keep running over you. So I did something different. And then I got sat down for about 4 plays. But anyway, but I won. I'm just saying, you got to do something different than what doesn't work. Right? You got to do something different than what doesn't work. And so the reality is this. Everything in us is for the physical violence of this world. That is of the flesh. Everything in us that is the Spirit speaks against that violence. It does. We cannot do what Messiah did not do and say we're his followers. We can't. If we could, I'll be honest with you, it'd be so much easier for me if the story went, and he climbed down off the cross and killed everybody. But that's not what happened, right? Of course, I wouldn't be here if that happened because none of us would be saved, right? It just, you know, from the mouths of babes, I'm telling you right now. Okay, so, truth. Okay, it would be easier for most of us to think this was a physical war, but it's not a physical war. The only physical war you've got to fight is against your own flesh, and even that's a spiritual war. How do you tame a beast? If you want to take a wolf and turn him into a dog, what do? Huh? You feed him? That's true. What else do you do? Huh? You discipline him. And that's where we got to be. Okay? If you feed a wolf that acts like a wolf, he'll keep acting like a wolf. If you discipline him until he acts different and reward him with food for doing the right thing, he'll act less like a wolf. At least when he's hungry. Right? So here's my point. When your flesh tells you you want something, don't give it to him. Don't give it until you're good and ready in the Spirit. Bring into submission the flesh in you. Right? And build up the spirit man. That's what we do when we fast. Yes. Fasting and praying. Reject the call of the flesh for the call of the Spirit and bring it into submission. How do you do that? How many people here have had 100% success bringing into submission their flesh? Please come to the front. I will give you the microphone so you can teach us all how to do it. Right? Nobody. What has the Lord given us? To make sure that we can overcome the flesh. The Holy Spirit. How do we make the Holy Spirit stronger in us? The Ruach stronger in us? Huh? You gotta feed him. He's your spirit man is the Messiah in you. Right? I died, Messiah rose up. Listen, this is not Messiah's body. I know that when you look at me, you think, surely Messiah must have looked like that. But, okay, I'm kidding. He was a balding fat guy. Okay, no. So obviously not. The point is, the part that lives, that is Messiah, is his spirit in me, right? So my spirit man that now lives in me, who now lives in me, he is Messiah. If I'm going to have Messiah become stronger and bring my flesh into submission, I got to feed that piece of me. How do I do that? Be doing the things he's called us to do. Be in the Word, be meditating, be in prayer, right? Don't do anything that he wouldn't have you do, right? I don't know what yours is, but everybody's got one. Stop it. In fact, every time, you know what I love to eat? I know you guys can't tell looking at me, but I love to eat. Right? I'm just telling you, if that's yours, every